I had a comment recently where someone was telling me that they quit cannabis and were having withdrawal symptoms. And they tried it again recently and they had the same symptoms. So, is it possible for cannabis to give you withdrawal symptoms? Is it possible for cannabis to give you symptoms that are similar to quitting heroin? So, definitely, there is definitely some mental effects that you could get or symptoms that you could get that would make you want to crave cannabis or maybe start acting a little bit extra mad if you aren't smoking it. That's definitely very possible. I would say that for the most part, the only effects that you will get are mental effects. I don't think that there is any proven physical effects that I'm aware of from cannabis use. But what there is proof that there is effects from people quitting cannabis that has additives in it. If there is additives such as, let's say, something to help the product grow faster, that quite possibly could be leading someone to have this withdrawal or side effect from the discontinued use of it. But is there any effects from smoking weed, such as getting really, really sick to the point where you're throwing up endlessly, or where you are having really bad stomach issues like you would have with heroin? This is something that is debatable. I would say that you definitely can get these effects if you overconsume cannabis. There is something called cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, where you can actually get this uncontrollable vomiting symptom where you just literally cannot stop vomiting, and it's a hell. But it's a very interesting thing that comes from the overuse of cannabis, or maybe even the overuse of cannabis to help you with nausea. That is definitely possible, but there is no actual proven history of anyone having withdrawals from the stoppage. So what that would show me is there quite possibly could be something in that cannabis that user was having these symptoms from. It's definitely possible. There's definitely a lot of sketchy things that are going around in the cannabis field right now just to the performance. So it's very similar to adding steroids into a plant. So in my opinion, there's quite possibly people getting withdrawals from the lack of steroids, or however you want to phrase it. So in my opinion, this is definitely a interesting topic that people probably should do more research on. But from what I've researched, there is no proven withdrawal symptoms besides mental ones where you crave it, where you might feel more tired, or maybe your appetite is not there. Those are all technically mental ones where you are just putting yourself in that position to have that type of feeling and that type of want. Almost, it's more of a craving than it is a real physical symptom. So in the bigger picture, you definitely should be wary of how much cannabis you're consuming on a daily basis. But when you're quitting, do it just like quitting any food or anything like that. It is something you could do cold turkey, or you could do it over a gradual period of time where you make sure you lean off of it. But in my opinion, this is definitely a old weird tale that has gone around for too long.